All right, let's talk about a number that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. The idea that SpaceX could, one day, be worth $100 trillion. This isn't just about rockets, it's really about how you put a price on humanity's biggest, wildest dreams. $100 trillion. Just let that sink in for a second. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 25 times the value of Apple today. It is a completely jaw-dropping number that just makes you ask, how is that even possible? And what was the response from the man himself? Well, when Elon Musk was asked about this prediction, he didn't laugh it off. He didn't even hesitate. He just said, yes. And that single word is why we're digging into this. It takes a crazy theory and turns it into a potential roadmap. So, where does a number that huge even come from? Well, it's not from launching Falcon 9 rockets, and it's not even from Starlink's global internet. Nope. The core of this whole valuation is based on something much, much bigger: the total industrialization of the moon.
See, to build an industrial base on the moon, you first need a way to get materials off of it. You need an interplanetary highway. And that brings us to the one single piece of technology that this entire $100 trillion idea rests on. It's called a lunar mass driver. Now, the best way to think about this is as a gigantic electromagnetic railgun stretching for kilometers across the moon's surface. Instead of burning tons of expensive rocket fuel, it just uses electricity to literally shoot payloads straight into space. This thing is the key to unlocking a real lunar economy.
And why the moon? I mean, why is it the perfect spot for this? Well, launching from Earth is a fight. You're battling intense gravity, you're punching through a thick atmosphere, and you need to hit an escape velocity of 11.2 kilometers per second. It's hard. But on the moon, you've got a tiny fraction of the gravity, zero air resistance, and the escape velocity is a much easier 2.4 kilometers per second. It's like playing physics on easy mode.
The way it works is actually pretty elegant. You mine materials on the moon, you load them into a cargo container, then powerful electromagnetic forces accelerate that container down this super long track until it's going fast enough to just break free from the moon's gravity, and poof, the payload gets flung into space, heading for Earth or Mars, all without a single drop of rocket fuel. This would make the cost of launching stuff just plummet.
Okay, so a gigantic railgun on the moon is going to cost an absolutely staggering amount of money, right? So this brings us from this far-out future technology right back to today's financial problem. How in the world do you raise that kind of cash?
I mean, a project this crazy needs a financial plan that's just as creative as the technology itself. You can't just pick up the phone and call Wall Street for a standard IPO on this one.
And this is where hedge fund manager Bill Ackman comes in with this really clever plan. So instead of a typical IPO, he's proposing that Tesla shareholders get a special right. Think of it like a coupon to buy SpaceX stock at a set price. For every share of Tesla you own, you get the option to buy one share of SpaceX. And as a little bonus, it would probably even include rights to get in on the IPO for xAI, Musk's AI venture.
Let's break down what that could actually look like for you. Say you own 100 shares of Tesla. You'd get the right to buy 100 shares of SpaceX. Let's imagine the fixed price is $50 a share. But when SpaceX finally goes public, the market decides it's worth $100. Well, you'd make an instant $50 profit on every single share for a total of $5,000. It's designed as a direct reward for people who've believed in Tesla for the long haul.
So why all the complexity, right? Why not just call up the big banks and do a normal IPO like everyone else? Well, the answer is all about bypassing the traditional Wall Street system and, all the problems that come with it.
Think about it. A traditional IPO could cost SpaceX billions with a B in banking fees. Plus, it would open them up to short-term investors who might freak out and sell after just one bad rocket test. Ackman's plan, though, it is basically zero underwriting fees. It creates a built-in base of shareholders who are already fans, who believe in the long-term vision, and it comes with a guaranteed $4 billion in funding from Ackman himself to kick things off.
But look, a plan this out there doesn't come without some major risks. We have to be balanced here and really understand the serious hurdles that could stop this whole thing in its tracks. Because if the plan is so great, you have to ask, what's the catch? And it turns out there are a few pretty big potential points of failure.
First, there is massive execution risk. This whole thing hangs on Starship being developed fast. Any huge delays, and the entire model starts to fall apart. Second, there's a liquidity issue. Regular investors are going to need cold, hard cash to actually buy their shares, and a lot of them might not have it, which could force them to sell their rights instead. And finally, This has never been done before. So regulators like the SEC could just step in and say, whoa, whoa, hold on a minute, and challenge the whole thing.
So when you zoom all the way out, past the tech and the finances, what you're really looking at is a fundamental change in the idea of what an investment even is. It's about something way bigger than just the numbers on a page.
What Musk and Ackman are essentially trying to do here is to turn the capital market into a vision market. They're asking people to invest not based on a price-to-earnings ratio, but on a shared belief in a certain kind of future for humanity.
This quote from the source material just sums it up perfectly. An investment in this whole ecosystem isn't just a financial move. It's being framed as you buying a passport into this huge, sprawling empire of technology, from cars to AI to space, and you get rewarded as that empire expands.
And that really leaves us with this final question, doesn't it? This entire strategy forces you to think about what investing is really for. Is it just about analyzing numbers on a spreadsheet? Or is it maybe something more? Is it about casting a vote with your money for the kind of future you actually want to see built? That, right there, is the big idea behind that $100 trillion number.